Every child spends most of their young life every day getting up and going to school. We don't really want to do it. We wouldn't if people didn't force us. On the one hand, school gives us the chance to have structure in our lives, to learn something about the world, and to meet our closest friends and be part of a community. On the one hand, we would never learn to read without going to school, or know our times tables. We certainly wouldn't teach ourselves. And yet school is a hard place to be. Asking a kid to sit down and learn for 7 hours is not always the recipe for a happy child. The roughness of school gets undoubtedly worse in middle and high school, where kids are chronically bored, unmotivated, and hate the experience altogether. Is this really how we want our children to be spending their childhoods? In modern times, education researchers are looking for better answers about how to make school a more prosperous place to be. In the 21st century, American students lag sorely behind the rest of the world on achievements in math and reading. But still, the American government puts more funding into its education system than any other country. How can this be? It seems high time for a rethinking of the environments in which we send off our kids to learn. The revolutionary answer might lie in something called arts-integrated thinking. Art is a huge part of our lives, but it's only very minimally a part of the way we are educated. To create art requires critical skills, creative thinking, problem solving, the mastery of a technique, cross-disciplinary thinking, socialization, craftsmanship, and innovation. Most students walk out of the education system having learned none of this. They know all the facts of the world, or soon forget them, but they are not in any way cultivated in expression and in the power of their own individual minds. The science is now showing us that by incorporating artistic and creative thinking into the classrooms, we can raise the achievement level of our students, teach them skills that they actually need for the proverbial real world, and at the same time create a more habitable environment for learning so that students are more prone to enjoy the experience of growing up. There has been intensive research into the correlation between an arts education and increased academic performance. What the studies show is that students who learn in schools that are rich in the arts score significantly higher on standardized tests like the SATs than their counterparts who do not learn the arts. More specific studies have unmasked a phenomenon called the transfer effect, where learning a specific modality of art is linked to a higher receptivity to learn a traditional core concept. Learning music, for example, and music theory, with its emphasis on time and spatial arrangement, creates a cognitive precondition necessary to learn a difficult math concept. Learning literature through theater and performance has been scientifically shown to improve students' reading comprehension. Illustration and creative writing can be used to critically analyze history or concepts in science. Observing these phenomena, one might reflect that introducing the arts into classrooms of traditional subjects through a new idea of education we might call arts integration would dramatically improve the quality of learning in the classroom. The arts integration model has been introduced into schools experimentally and to dramatic results. At the Bates Middle School in Maryland, teachers in all subjects were trained to become fully arts integrated. The math teachers, for example, had their students construct illustrations to learn linear equation functions, or participated in dance to understand the physics of planetary motion. The administration of the school became more arts-minded and gained an ethos of inclusiveness and compassion. Within the span of several years, the school witnessed improvements. Test scores rose significantly and disciplinary referrals dropped. School attendance soared. A survey of teachers reported that their experience of teaching became much more enjoyable and reported an increase of student morale. The findings of this case study are consistent with the nationwide data. Schools that provide arts-integrated programs witness a strong boost in the morale of their students. This is likely because of a change in the school atmosphere that occurs when schools integrate the arts. The students feel more attended to. They're having more fun. The environment is focused but relaxed. They stress less but absorb more, and they work hard but learn about themselves in the process. That is why arts integration should become the standard teaching philosophy in United States schools. The arts are often the victim of immediate cuts to funding whenever resources are low, but this should change. Schools would spend their resources more wisely if they revolutionized their mindset about the ideal classroom. Indeed, the enjoyment of learning and individual prosperity is what leads to higher standardized achievement, which is the goal of traditional educators. But more importantly, teaching the arts better prepares a student for the kinds of creative and innovative, collaborative, self-knowing, self-reflective work that they will have to do in the real world. Arts integration would be a major step towards making the impossibility of enjoying school a thing of the past, and it might just save our children's futures.